right, good morning. It's a little after 5 a.m. my time. Got a fresh cup of coffee made, and we're ready to go. So where the heck did we leave off? Let's figure that out as I get some coffee in me. So we actually got a lot done yesterday in the first few parts. I remember our ATB queue is pretty much in place for the players. You can see I'm sending through actions. We're attacking. Still some bugs to work out. Now the issue here, so we're focusing, we're trying to focus on a button that doesn't exist. And buttons count is greater than 0. So right here we need to clamp that index. And so it's going to be like var n equals clamp I. And so it's going to be n0 and get buttons count. That should work. So now we won't be able to focus on a button that doesn't exist. Just kind of run through this again and see what happens. You can see it doesn't like when we attack an enemy that's already defeated. And so we're still getting that issue there. It's almost like it's disappearing. And like we need to wait. Let's try and wait here. Get tree. I don't know if that's ideal, but it might fix that issue with still in my my Godot 3 mindset here. Yeah, so we attacked that guy twice. I think the button focus is fixed now. That yield does help. And what we probably want is a cursor on the players as well to show, like, not just down here, show who's ready, but to show it up here. I think that would be smart. So let's add these things to our notes. For we also want side cursor. Oh no, we already have that actually. We do need to be able to then we need enemy battle actions queued up when they are be ready. Those are the things just off the top of my head that we have to do. I think number one, we want to see enemies attacking. So we have on player ATB ready. We don't have on enemy ATB ready. So let's figure that out. And we just connect that down here. Then we're going to pass up. You can do the ready.emit. I think I have to send. I have to send something. Yeah, so down here. Really, it's just the same here. Swap that. This is going to be for that one. I might want to actually just send through the data. This is going to be enemy data. We'll just do that. We want to do add event enemy. Need target and action. So for now, let's just put null and fight. And null. So we have to get a random player. And so that will look like equals data.party dot pick random. If you remember from my previous series, or really any of my videos from before, I had a custom choose function, but now that is essentially built into array, and you just call it pick random. So that's really, really helpful. So you have common global seed, which reminds me, in our globals, do we have that yet? No. Let's make a new script for that. Just call this globals. And get that open. So I'm doing that to set a random seed. And then I'm going to make that an auto load. I'll just put that up before. Or not, whatever. Doesn't really matter. So that's done. We can close globals for now. Where the heck was I? We're picking their action. Now I can send target through. I'll put to do choosing action. But for now, they're just going to fight. And so now the player button needs to handle being hit. And this is where I think our enemy button and player button need to have like the same parent class. Or, I don't know, for now we can just copy this format. Or do I not like that? Let's do it this way. we're gonna make down here new script. It's gonna call it battle actor button. It's gonna extend texture button. Now you see when we open that, we have that. We're gonna do class name battle actor button. And what I want to do is take stuff that we reuse, like this. I'll come back to that, don't worry. Just set that to null for now. Down here, we're going to do data equals this. What's wrong with that? Data not declared, because you have to extend battle actor button. We're going to do the same thing down in player, which means we don't do that. Do that down here. And now we're going to do that one in battle actor button. Enemy button, get rid of that. Save that. It should be getting that from battle actor button. I might have to do a reload. Button. Because it works for the player, so let's just do a quick reload. See if that fixes that. Just checking my audio. Case mismatch. Of course, it doesn't tell me where that's happening. But it's probably one of these. I don't know. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. That did fix it. Hit text data. We could call set data. Make that a function. And so let's take this. Here we call set data. I'm just going to take that. Now in here, don't need that. And then player button. Do set data. And I'm going to walk through this, don't worry. So we don't need that either. So the whole point of that is that now our player button and our enemy button are sharing these things from battle actor button. But we have to split them up because they do function differently. I mean, theoretically, I could have an ATB on the player button as well, Well, it's kind of redundant because we have it down here in the GUI. And there's going to be other things that we change, like the way that an enemy exits is different from how a player is going to get KO'd, right? The player will be permanent. They'll just be, we'll animate them to be knocked out or defeated. Whereas an enemy will animate and then exit, right? It'll free from the scene and memory. But now, since these inherit from battle actor button, the player button should have hit text when it takes damage. Excuse me 1 second. Just can't shake that cough. It's almost like coffee and cold. Makes my cough worse. Anyway, so I think we go back to battle. And now that that's being added, that event already runs event if it's the top event. And this all looks right. We need to do ATB/valid checks. And so that's fine. The only thing is we don't have any kind of delay. So I can show you what it looks like if we just run it. They should be hitting us immediately. Yeah, see? And it looks like we're not clearing their ATB bar, so I have to fix that. Just call reset on that. So right now, they have the same functionality as the enemies, so that's why they disappeared. So we'll have to fix that. That's why we have this. So we do the hit text. Let's copy that. We're going to go to enemy button. And, I have to look up how we do super functions in this. Super, okay. A.say. That's nice. Let's do super, I think. So you do have to send through those arguments, okay. And then in the player, we're going to do the same thing. Let me grab that from enemy button. Do the same thing, but then what happens when we are defeated will change. And it's hard to communicate without an actual sprite, but what we can do is just like modulate equals color dot black. Self-modulate. Are they still freeing? Oh, because we have to get rid of this. So both of them make the hit text. with the enemy button frees itself after a second, and the player button just turns black. So if I try and get a hit in here, you can see the difference. Now theoretically, they should only attack valid targets now. Yeah. So our party's dead. Add event. It's fine. What are you doing, cat? What are you doing? Get out of there. Come on. I think one of my cats just ate a spider. So that'd be good to get. We really want the delay. Up and run event. Maybe I can do something up here. And then so it's not working. Do I have to return that? Let's see. It's definitely just running through everything. Maybe to do like no. Google. Ah. working. It did no work. Get signal. I don't know. I don't feel like this accurately answers my question here. I mean, for now, I can just do this until we figure that out. I don't know if it's working though. I forgot the weight. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's working now. So when they get defeated, we need to clear that. We also need to update their text. A lot of things we're juggling right now. Let's focus on our data. Ready. Yeah, mana. That's what we want. So we align it to the right and give it a minimum width of whatever it needs to be when it's at the max digits. Do the same thing to the mana. So we get 12. And then right align. Everything else should be fine there. If we run this, we should see those values. Yeah, perfect. Let's actually give the players some more health. Let's do HP. So we're doing that so that when we initialize that data, we can override some of those values. We give them some strength. Interesting. Might need a state. Then Do that. That way we'll only ever call run event once. And that's only going to be if there are no events in the event queue. It seems to be working. Oh. So we're still getting that issue. Does that need to be -1? That could be the issue. Test it. Let's go attack down here. Are we still taking damage? Oh, those are queued up. Okay, so that's where the health checks need to come in. If you rewind a little bit, you would see that we were still taking damage even though all the enemies were gone. Process. Yeah, looks good. Now on the enemy button, we're defeated. I want to stop the ATB bar. And in where do I need to go now? Stop that. Oh, we need to do the HP checks. For now, that's all we're checking in terms of whether or not we can act. And then we can use that function in run event. So if actor.can acts, if not, then what we want to do is run event. Right, so we just jump over this whole thing. And if target HP so you might be wondering why am I doing that? Well, sometimes we need to check if they can act. Other times we just need to check if they have HP. And this is easier to call than doing if target.hp is greater than 0, right? It's just a little bit cleaner, I think. Okay, so if target has HP, sorry, if not target has HP, then we want to find a different target. And when we do that, we need to figure out which side they're on. Let's look at how we handle our data. We could do... friendly... So if the target is in our party, we know it's friendly. So what we want to do is how do we get the battle enemies? We're in battle. So run event. Duplicate. That's going to be enemies menu. So we figure out if the target's friendly, and then we set target buttons accordingly, right? If it's friendly, we want the players, otherwise we want the enemies. We are duplicating this array, which actually we don't have to do, because it's not linked to the actual order of the buttons. So we just get that array, and we want to shuffle it. I need to check shuffle. So shuffle doesn't return anything. So we have to call shuffle afterwards. Or do we? I think we can actually bump that out, and just from there we can run our code. So it's going to be 4 button. Actually, let's do this so we get autocomplete. Target size. And let's think about it. We're looping through all the target buttons. What we want to do is check their data. if data that has HP, then target equals data, and we break. And up here, before we get to that, we want to set target to null. That way we can check down here if target equals null. You could also put if not target. So if target equals null after that, then we know that we're at the end of the battle. And since we have access to that, we can just use that down here. So if target is friendly, print you lose, sucker. Else, print you win. Oh my god. And we want to return. So we exit out of that. And I'll put like actual battle end states. But at least we'll be able to see that in action. This should work. And I'll put some comments in for like valid actor. Okay. So the main thing we want to see is that after we wipe out all these enemies, that we go to a you win. We also want to see different targets getting picked, which is working. So we're not just losing our actions, and then this should pop up, you win. Maybe I have to send through another event. Yeah, let's try that again. I think I have to have, with the current logic, I have to have another event queued up. Yeah, see. That's weird. I don't know how we're getting down to that. It's a variable type array. Maybe down here. I have to clear the event queue. I'm not sure. But what was the other problem? if we're not running the event, we're not going to get to that end state. So we have to do this check also. I think when the enemy button exits, or anytime someone's HP hits 0, you have to do that check. Could try that. And that would clean this up. Data defeated. Just bear with me. And the player button. Now, go up here. Make that function. We do nothing in this one. I'm going to change this. It's defeated. Down here we can do that HP check. If has HP. We can also change that to be defeated. Same here, do HP change init. And the HP and change. I like that better. It's not dependent on a string, so that's the way to go with that. And if not has HP, we admit that we are done. Finito. Cool. Now, the defeated we can use in battle. Because what battle needs to do is check, like, if there are any valid targets left on that side. And so it's essentially what we're doing here. And so we can make this into a reusable function. It's going to be probably do it up here. Let's call it get game, get end state, and return in. And so I think what we have to do is No, this isn't right. Not the name, at least. Find valid target, if any. Target. That's fine. We can keep it like that. And at the end, we'll return target. And then up here, target equals fine. We can just bump all of this out. If there's no valid target, all right, now we can call that anytime an actor is defeated. Put this into battle. That's wrong. See, the problem is we reset target down there. I'll fix that. let's end. So how do I get that? Target is friendly. Maybe we set the game state in find valve target. If target so we can set state there. And in ends, we just do a check for the state. Match state. This will be states.mode. States.victory. We're going to win more than we lose, so it's a minor optimization to put that at the top. I mean, the most minor. It's just like logically it makes sense to me. It's not even about optimization. It's more about communication. All right, so I think we have that figured out. Now we have to implement that down wherever we're going to check for any actor being defeated. So I think these buttons can handle that. Or I don't think resources can be in groups. Yeah, they'd have to be in there. It's cool you have global groups now and scene groups. I like that. I don't know what's going on there. I'll have to check that out. So we need to get that to battle. Whoops. So battle, I think, is already. Yeah, we can grab it here. To need player info data. Let me go make that real quick. And we're gonna do So if not bit equals null, then, or I could even just do if not find, then end. That looks right. So now if I defeat all the enemies, we should see that message pop up. So that should be all I need. After that fourth hit, there we go. It's working. Cool. I might actually clean this up a little bit. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to get that. Just makes it a little bit easier to read. And it only adds a few lines, so it's worth it. Alright, that's cool. It's relatively painless. We got the delay. Got that. It's able to target players. ATB wait when in options. I think we want to do that only when using in ATB wait when actions are being performed. So I don't know if we want that. Let's get that. Down cursor, and then we'll think about targeting players. I should probably at some point also get actual player sprites, and then we can start thinking about animating them. Hits. I mean, you can think about Final Fantasy, how you can have the player walk up a bit, swing their weapon, or like jump and attack and then jump back, and or if anyone gets hit, they kind of recoil in the opposite direction, and if it's a player, they would play some kind of animation. But the enemies would just play like some kind of hit effect. So down cursor, down, 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 down. We might check out open game art. I could make something really quick, but I just wanted to see if there's anything cool. UI arrow. I might have I saw something. Oh, this could be interesting. We'll check those out. I'm gonna go back. I want to go forward. You can also check itch.io. These are actually kind of cool. It's not really my personal taste, but these are pretty well done. Like you'd use those, you could use these, but rotate. Actually, that's what those are. Those are the exact same. And then these ones, the diagonal, those are obviously more for a mouse cursor. But yeah, these are fun, and they're in the public domain, so you don't even have to credit the creator. I mean, you can to be nice, but a lot of times when someone puts it in the public domain, they might not necessarily want credit. You can see how they use it here. Personally, I don't like when they upscale the pixels like that. Right, like you have smaller pixels and then you have these really big ones here. But I do like the overall, like the actual assets themselves. It's just not really for me. Let's see what's going on here. They say it's animated, but I don't see any animation. I mean, I could just download that just to test it out. It's a PNG, so I don't know how it's actually animated. These are kind of cool. Kind of reminds me more of like a simulation game. We have these. These are kind of neat. I download them for just for later. Okay, we've got. Oh crap! I don't know if that finished downloading, but whatever. So I might have to turn off my screen cap just for a second. Where's that going to be? I think it's all the way at the bottom, right? Yeah, I'll be right back. I mean, I'm still here. I'm just going through my folders. Okay, so that arrow I downloaded is a sprite sheet. I think we will try and get that going. That looks kind of interesting. So I'm going to drag that into my projects under the art folder, and then I'll bring back the focus here. All right. And so we go to art. You can see the arrow. That's all right. I mean, just to get something going. I probably need to get that bad boy open in here. I don't really care about showing that. That's all right. And so Godot 4, I wonder if they added animated texture racks yet. Let's take a look. I don't see it. We could probably add an animated texture in here. Let's see if it's a valid. Yeah. So, but for that, what we have to do is we have to split up this image. So I'm going to copy it. We're going to go to new. It's going to be 16 by 16. What I'm going to do is paste in every frame. I also need to, sorry, before I do that, let's rotate this. So I'm going to recopy it. Let me paste it in. I'm going to do Alt-N to make a new. Actually, no. We want new empty frames, so that's going to be Alt-B. But you'll see. Oh, where's my other? There we go. Delete that. And then, so I'm just going to slide it up. Let me do Alt-V again. I'm going to do Control-V. And then Alt-B, Control-V. We're just working this thing up. So now we have 4 frames. See, that's kind of cool. And this is going to be our down arrow, down cursor, let's call it. I'm going to do Control-Shift-S, and we're going to save it as a PNG. we do that because we need it in separate files. That's why we had to split up those frames. And that's specifically so that we can go and do this. Well, first let me get rid of this old one. Now I have to go to Game Art, wherever you saved yours. And so I have to drag all of these in. Make sure I'm on the right folder. I'm going to right click and do a new resource. It's going to be an animated texture. Deprecated. Uh-oh. Are you serious? I did all that work? What? Okay, I'm going to have to go to Google. Godot for how to animated texture. So it's deprecated. So it's deprecated and there's no workaround. Well, thanks a lot. Oh my gosh. I hope they come up with a better solution. Do I just have to use... I guess I have to use an animated sprite 2D. Or an animation player. I think that's the way to go. All right. So I really don't need these as separate frames anymore. Okay, I did that work for nothing. Thank you, Godot. I still like it, don't worry. So we're going to save the arrow, save a copy of it. Game art, come on. And what the hell is this called? Alright, so we're going to have down arrow.png. Let's close that crap. Don't save, just get out of here. Get out of here. Alright, so we have the sheet now. See it right there. We've got a whole 4 kilobytes. Oh my gosh. That is excessive. Not kidding. Let me think. How do I want to handle this? Maybe a new scene, but I don't know if I'm going to use it anywhere else. I might just make it in here. So let's think about it. It's going to be on top of the players. Let's just make a new scene. All right, so we're going to do change type. It's going to be a texture rect. We're going to give it an animation player. I think that's the way to go. Or do I just want to use a timer to advance the frames? I think I like that way even better. I like it. And then we can set the frame rate here. I don't know, something like that. Auto start, so it's always going to be running. Down cursor. And give it a script. First, let's give it a texture. Now I think we can give it we can make an atlas texture. Hopefully that's not deprecated. That would be a bummer. We'll call this down cursor. I'm actually going to rename this. That way it's consistent. So we have atlas. The region is for width and height. We have, oh, I meant 16, not 167. And then we start on that. And so all we have to do is advance the Y every time that timer goes off. So we'll call this like frame advance. Give it a script. I'm ready. No, we don't even have to reference that timer, I don't think. We just connect it. And the down cursor, so we have to get, first I have to put that atlas texture in there. And we gotta update. How come it's always defaulting to that? I just have to do keep. Okay. Down cursor. Now that's going to be in the top level. Okay, down cursor. Frame advance. So we need to get a few things. We need to get from the Atlas texture, we need to get the size of it. Really, we just need the height. I think it's a little bit more specific. Let's look at Atlas texture. Size might actually work, because size is separate from region. Region is just what we're showing. That's fine. Atlas dot size dot y. I think that works. Atlas size height. Then our texture dot region dot y equals clamp f texture dot region dot y. Now do texture dot y. This equals Atlas size height. Oh, this region height. This is going to be clamped to 0 and Atlas size height. And we can test it locally. It's one of the nice things making it separate. Rect2, so it's got to be size.y. It'd be nice if I could just get a reference to that instead of calling it over and over. Okay, it's not working. You are auto start. Let's see if this is working. This is wrong. It needs to be position. So the code's running, but it's just not working. So we want to check these variables, which I probably don't need to print it, but whatever. I'm just going to stop. So 16 and 16, that's the problem. We need to get the whole sheet size. So I think it's going to be texture.atlas. Just call this height. And Atlas, do that. Then we just update these. I don't even think I need this anymore, but we can keep it. Now height. Clamp F. This goes down there. Region dot position size. Oh, she broke. 16 and 64, so that should be wrapping. Why at this height? Plus equals height. We actually, I'm sorry, we want wrap F. There you go. My B. So that'll automatically wrap around. Maybe I'll even speed that up. Make it juicy. Alright, so we have our cursor. We can save that. The next thing is we need to be able to move it to a target. I might handle that positioning in here. So get rid of that, and then we can drag down cursor into the scene. And I wonder if this should connect to all of the player buttons. Or no, it connects to the these info bars, the ATBs. We could also manage it here. Which I think is actually what we want. Yeah. Player info.highlight, yeah. So we'll get a reference to the down cursor. That's just going to be a texture. Advanced ATBQ. Yeah, it looks like we have duplicate code. Let's see what we have. So I think we combine that by adding that remove front. And down here, we don't have to call all of that. We just do that and then advance ATBQ. If it's the only one. Down cursor, we don't need to print that stuff anymore. And I think just the other thing is we want to make sure it's hidden by default. And also down at advanced ATBQ, we need to hide it here. Okay, what's going on there? I think it's because I forgot to put, let's see. Yeah, I forgot to put false there. So close. Am I not showing that cursor? So we'll do down. So that show. Now we just need to apply an offset. That's weird. Oh, it needs to be plus. I don't know why I pushed it to the left though. It should be going up. Yeah, it's about right. The arrow is definitely a little bit too big, but you can get the idea. probably off camera I will get the player sprites going. And maybe I'll source some hit effects, and then we can think about animating the recoil and getting those effects in, and of course getting the character sprites in. And then maybe getting some better enemies would be good too. And before I log off, I'm just gonna increase that a little bit. Let's do like -20, so it's not right at the top of their head. That will need to be later on based on the actual sprite of the character that we're spawning that on. But otherwise, we have a very rudimentary one, but it's functioning, right? Core functions are there. I don't think we're updating the info. The player info bar, so I'll make a note for that. Or maybe I can just connect it real quick. So look at the enemy button. Sorry, actually, this one, I want that. Let's just take that whole thing and put this over in player info bar. I think we just need the HP changed. And so we don't need hit text. We just want to update our health.text equals HP. We don't need change, so I'm going to underscore it. And if HP is less than 0, or sorry, if HP is equal to 0, we're going to do modulate equals color dot dark red. And we want to stop our ATB. Actually, we want to reset it first. So that goes to 0. And then we'll immediately stop it. So we're just overriding that set process. I won't be able to test that until we have someone that's going to 0 health. Let's see. Okay, Yopapi took damage. It shows up there and it updates down here. Good. The thing I like about this kind of battle system is that it's so much more dynamic and exciting. And while you can modify the different like attributes of the battle, like you can fine tune the weight, right, the pauses of it, or you can have it go faster, and you can have enemies not wait for you. So you can customize kind of the difficulty of it and the speed of it, but regardless of what you choose, it's so much more alive, right? Instead of okay, let's all 1, 2, 3, 4, let's choose our actions, and then we're just gonna speed roll everything. So I think this is more interesting, both from a design perspective and the player's perspective. It's just it's so much more going on. I mean, you can see right here, it's playing out on its own without me even doing anything. Right, this is acting as if we had no kind of ATB weight whatsoever. And we'd probably ultimately slow down the battle speed a bit. But, yeah. Whoa, 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 cats, what are you doing? Get out of my plant. Of course, my cats are getting into my plant now. Hey, you know, we're so close, we might as well wait and see if Yopapi or Mama gets knocked out. Who will it be? It looks like Yopapi is not having a good day. I mean, they're just getting like hyper focused. Oh my gosh, is that a bug or what? I mean, that's crazy how more frequently they were targeted. Of course, they're hanging on. I just want to see this defeat state. There we go. Okay, so we can see that kind of glitched out. Let's see if it happens again with Mama. I think it has to do with them having... Yeah, so Yopapi was up in the queue. That's why that happened. So in battle, I'm glad we ran this that long so I could see that. In battle, what we need to have happen is... I think... in here... If target is friendly... This would be a good point to remove them from the ATB queue. Or, I think we just have to do it down here. If data.party.has data. Oops. Oh wow, we lost. Everyone's dead. Uh-oh. Yeah, see, they're all in the queue, so they're allowed to keep trying to attack, but their attacks aren't going through because we're doing the HP checks. So if we're friendly, we need to remove them from the ATB queue if they're in it. So we need to do for ATB event in ATB queue. If ATB event, how do we have that set up? What are we sending through? We're just appending the player info. Really? ATB queue is empty. Yeah, that's not right. Oh, because the enemies don't use that. Okay. Just call that player info. It's gonna be I think we can use that. Let's look at find. It should return what? -1 if there's none. Perfect. So we do if player index. Then ATB event in ATB. Let's get the info bar up here. That's going to be player infos. Get child. Let me just look at player infos real quick. That does not work. I'm going to update that path. So this is now going to be player infos. Now that'll work. So we get the player info, and then for ATB event in ATB queue, if player info no. And then we just do ATBQ.move. So what is it called? Players infos. Okay. Get child on base array. Whoops. All right, so we check if it's a player. If we find that index, that means it's a player and we're getting the index at the same time, which is nice. We get the appropriate player info bar, and then we erase it from the ATB queue. Now, if it doesn't exist in the ATB queue, nothing will happen, but this handles that. And so theoretically, when someone's defeated on our party, we're going to take them out of the ATB queue. And I might even want to go and rename ATB queue if we match. Like all of these, I think it would be more helpful if we did player ATB queue. Because the enemies don't use that. They just go straight to the event queue. So that's going to be more specific and save me time in the future. Because I already had to like remind myself that enemies aren't a part of that. So we can look at when enemy ATB ready, we just add the event. All right. Cool. I think that's good for right now. I will catch you next time. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with your game. See ya.